So the Warriors trailed for very little, like none. They dominated. I mean, it was very early in the game, but the Warriors led by as many as 23 points. And then there was, as it typically happens, Houston snaked their way back into the game a little bit, down by 9 entering the fourth quarter. I never got the feeling that the Rockets were going to actually win the game, and that turned out to be the case. My premonition was accurate. Now, Stephen Curry, 12 of 19 from the floor, did not hit a three-point shot for a while, but then ended up 5 of 9 from three-point land, and Jimmy Butler getting her done there with 25 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 steals, and a partridge in a pear tree, as Game 2 will be played next month. No, Game 2 will be Wednesday, because, it's very difficult to play games more than, 2 days apart. My God. So the next game will be on Wednesday there and in Houston. So they will continue. Now, the way it works here, the better story is in the losing locker room. And so let us discuss the events that took place there in Houston. Who gets the blame bowl of Tex-Mex for the Rockets as they lose home court advantage in their first game out in this particular series? So I have brand ambassadors, sandwich board, and hall pass. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a wonderful, delicious plate filled with banana cream pie. Right, so a little dish there with banana cream pie. All right, so the sense watching the Rockets, and the Rockets are a physically talented team. They're a younger team. They won a bunch of games. They actually tried during the regular season. And so you racked up a lot of wins and all that stuff, and it's great. But the way you look at these things, it's Occam's razor. The most obvious is usually the right answer on these things. I mean, people overlook the obvious to try to find more complex explanations for the outcome of events. I don't believe it's that deep. It's just sports. It's not that deep, and it's right in front of your schnoz, right in front of your schnoz here. When you look at it, you got Jalen Green on one side and Fred VanVleet on the other side. High crimes and misdemeanors for these two. Hoo-wee! Who stinks? Well, those two, right off the top. Now, it was like an urban legend playing out in the NBA playoffs right in front of our eyes. Now, normally it's just the vanishing hitchhiker that just gets in the car and then you don't know where they went and like what happened, or you see them off in the distance, you get closer, they're not there, you don't know. But these guys, Green and VanVleet, were brand ambassadors for Preparation H. They played like they had hemorrhoids. And watching them, you thought you had hemorrhoids. How bad was it? It was so bad. Jalen Green, 3 of 15 from the floor, 0 of 4 from downtown. VanVleet, who's got playoff experience from his days in Toronto, 4 of 19 from the floor. So if you do the math, the Rockets' starting backcourt was outscored by 28 points by Golden State. Just backcourt to backcourt, mano a mano. The Warriors' starting backcourt shot 53% from the floor. The Rockets' starting backcourt attempted a total of 34 shots, and they made 7 of them. Which sucks anywhere you go. The rest of the team, the Rockets, if you take the backcourt out, right, the ifs and buts, candy and nuts, the rest of the backcourt, or the rest of the front court and everyone else outscored the Warriors by 18. How about on the other side? You've got Stephen Curry, and how is he feeling? How's Golden State feeling right about now after this performance in Game 1? So this is the blueprint. It's kind of clear that this is the blueprint, right? I mean, nothing radical. This is why they went on, got Jimmy Butler. Playoff Jimmy, as the legend goes. Jimmy Butler, it was a prototypical type performance, and fortunately the NBA giving the Warriors lots of time off in between games, so they don't have to worry about that. A little rest and relaxation, enjoy Houston, and go back out and play on Wednesday. Now, to the Dust Bowl, a game that was so bad. How bad was it? It was so bad we need to mention the number 1 seed. Number 1 in the entire NBA. Oklahoma City, in the Western Conference there, they put on a clinic. And it wasn't just a clinic. I don't believe that does justice to what happened in this particular game the smashing of the Grizz in Memphis. Memphis is completely torn to bits in OKC. Now, a 51-point margin. An NBA team that made the playoffs, granted they were in the play-in, lost a game by 51 points. Do you know how bad one has to play to lose a game by 51 points? And it's just stunning. Now, Ja Morant attempted to reassure the fan base that things are going to be okay, that it will never get this bad again. Let's go to the audio tape. Take a listen.
We'll never, play that bad again. Our defensive intensity, they had a lot of easy looks, was pretty much getting to, wherever they wanted on the floor. And offensively, taking care of the ball.
Defensive intensity? I think my fat ass could have played better defense than those guys. There was no defensive intensity. All right, so Ja Morant there, not real confident as he attempted to reassure the fan base that everything will be okay, and he said that money quote, "We will never play that bad again." Is that strong enough? Well, that was a rhetorical question. Of course it's not strong enough. No, you're supposed to be the franchise player. Here I am, a franchise. We in here talking about a game, a playoff game. A playoff game, we lost by 51 points? My God, fire the coach again. Where's Taylor Jenkins? Fire him again. I don't even know the coach. Fire him again. You lost a playoff game by 51 points. And I flash back years ago when I started out in radio. I covered the NBA regularly, and one of the people, he's long gone now, Bill Fitch, was a Hall of Fame coach, and he explained to me that no matter how bad one team is compared to the other team in terms of talent, the perception of talent, he would explain to me, if the lesser team plays with the proper effort and energy and plays the fundamentally sound way of basketball, they will not get blown out. That if you just put the effort in, that you can close the gap, the talent gap. And I watched, I was like, whoa, that is, I thought maybe my phone had glitched when I looked at the score, and I was like, no, that must not be right. Maybe somebody hacked the website that I used to look at the score, and then I turned it on, and I was like, oh, my God. What a monstrosity. This is unbelievable. I mean, holy cannoli. This is not the vomit comet. The vomit comet is not strong enough here. This is, somebody needs to be court-martialed. There needs to be a court-martial here, naming and shaming. I'm talking about censoring multiple people, and you can go down the list. There's like 7 or 8 prime suspects here who need to wear the sandwich board and walk outside the arena, and the sandwich board can point out how they violated the tenets of basketball, competition, and all that, and they're guilty of dereliction of duties. Man, that is what – those are game by 51 points. I mean, Oklahoma City's great. They're not that much greater than Memphis, my God. All right, now, last word. To Boston we go, where the Celtics were trailing midway through. But in the end, they dominated when they pulled away there in the second half, and they ended up winning. Jason Tatum, though, the story here, not the game with Orlando. The story is Jason Tatum. Was it a snap, crackle, pop situation? Tatum, he came down, tumbling down on his wrist. Oh, my aching wrist. And a little post-game X-ray situation for Jason Tatum. He said of his right wrist, it was clean. The X-ray said he said it was clean, and he was all right. All right. He said he came down there in the fourth quarter as Jason Tatum ended up playing. He had 17 points, 8 of 22. Didn't do much anything early in the game. Played nearly 40 minutes of game time here. The injury happened with 8:28 to go in the fourth quarter, and he was driving for a dunk attempt at the rim, and owie, kazowie. I think that's the actual sound. Owie, kazowie is what he said. Possibly not. So, question. Do you believe Jason Tatum when he says his wrist is all right? And he also said the X-rays were clean. Do you believe all that? So my position on this is whether the X-ray was clean or not. I assume it was. And him saying he's all right, my position on that is it's not cracked, right? It's not cracked. However, Tatum now has something very valuable. For the next 3 or 4 games, possibly longer than that, he's got a hall pass. If he starts clanking up misses, he's got, it's in my wrist. I'm trying to fight through it, trying to fight through the wrist problem. And he's got the immunity papers if he starts making a brick house, the old brick house there, clanking jumpers right and left and just not being very efficient. So this has the makings of a gentleman's sweep, as they like to call it in the playoffs, where you end up winning the games at home, you lose game 3, and then you bounce back and win the next couple and win in 5, and that's that. The Celtics flipping the switch in the second half of that game, and so they end up winning by a comfortable margin at home against Orlando.